It started with a kitchen fire and ended with a neighborhood uprising. In a quiet suburban community, one woman's obsession with control turned into chaos. But when she crossed the wrong line, trespassing, manipulating, and pushing her power too far, one retired engineer decided enough was enough. This is the true story of how calm resistance defeated manufactured authority. Oakstone Grove was the kind of neighborhood where mailboxes matched and sprinklers hissed at the same time every morning. Retirees gardened, parents walked their dogs. It was uneventful, and that's exactly how Mike Anderson liked it. At 68, Mike had finally settled into the retirement he had earned after 4 decades as an electrical engineer. His hands had traded blueprints for pruning shears. His backyard had become a garden of quiet order, with tomatoes lined like soldiers, and roses that responded only to the perfect timing of water and light. But peace is a fragile thing. It all started with a burnt casserole. A minor kitchen fire 2 doors down was extinguished within minutes by the local fire department. No injuries, no damage beyond a scorched countertop. To most, it was a fluke. To Karen Merriweather, it was a crisis. Karen, the self-appointed guardian of Oakstone, saw it as the spark she had been waiting for. Within days, she declared the formation of a community fire safety patrol. No one had asked for it. No one had voted for it. But she printed flyers, hosted mandatory meetings, and showed up in a bright red vest carrying a clipboard like a weapon. Karen didn't run the HOA, but she might as well have. Her energy was relentless. Her logic was selective. She used fear like seasoning, just enough to flavor every conversation. "We can't rely on the fire department," she told neighbors. "They're understaffed. We need our own response unit. The planned community drills, emergency hose training, equipment inspections." She even purchased her own fire hose off Craigslist. Mike ignored it until she brought it to his yard. It was a Thursday afternoon. Mike had gone inside to make tea, and when he returned, he found Karen and 2 patrol members stomping through his garden, dragging the hose across his azaleas. "This is a drill," she announced. Mike's irrigation system had been tripped. His mulch was soaked. One of his pepper plants had been snapped at the stem. "You didn't ask," he said, voice calm. "I don't need to," she replied, walking past him. "Emergency protocols." He said nothing more, but inside, something cracked. Mike didn't yell. He didn't slam doors. He watched, listened, and prepared. He began documenting everything. At first, it was just for himself. A few photos, notes. But as Karen's drills grew more chaotic, his instincts as an engineer kicked in. He repurposed some old home security cameras, wired motion sensors near his fence line, repositioned lights. He even installed a discreet mic inside his birdhouse. What he found startled even him. Karen wasn't just overstepping. She was patrolling at night, measuring property lines without permission, issuing made-up compliance reports. At one point, she left a plastic tag on Mike's hose bib, labeled non-compliant valve. But what turned his concern into action wasn't what she did to him. It was what she did to his neighbors. He saw her scolding Mrs. Callahan, who was 83 and partially deaf, for neglecting her fire-safe zone. He watched a father of 3 get publicly shamed at the next HOA meeting for refusing to participate in a drill. She had printed his name on a red list. That night, Mike opened a spreadsheet. He began collecting dates, actions, patterns. Then he requested HOA documents. He discovered that Karen had quietly proposed a temporary resolution allowing community emergency enforcement under a clause most board members didn't read carefully. No public vote, just signatures gathered during casual conversations. He found video of Karen inspecting homes without warrants, of her accessing backyards, of her trying to move gas valves in one neighbor's home while filming a safety video. But Mike packaged it all in a quiet dossier labeled Karen Merriweather, unauthorized activity log. He brought it to the next city council meeting. He didn't speak first. He let the video play silent, time-stamped footage of Karen crossing lines, literally and figuratively. Then he stepped to the microphone. My name is Mike Anderson. I've lived in Oakstone Grove for 22 years, and I've spent most of them enjoying a peaceful community. But peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of respect. And what's happening in our neighborhood is not safety. It's unchecked control. The room held its breath. Mike wasn't dramatic. He was clear, technical, precise. He showed documentation, highlighted ordinances, explained legal boundaries. He even included quotes from city fire officials dismissing Karen's patrol as unauthorized and potentially hazardous. When he was done, a moment of silence passed. Then someone clapped, then another. Karen was in the audience. She tried to speak. The council asked her to wait. Later that week, the city sent a letter to the HOA. All patrol activity was to be suspended. Any enforcement had to go through approved channels. Karen's permitless inspections were in violation of multiple ordinances. But she didn't go quietly. The next morning, she was spotted in full gear helmet, boots, and fire hose spraying down sidewalks to reduce fire risk. A neighbor filmed her tripping over the hose, fumbling with a nozzle. The video went viral, Karen's last drill. By the end of the week, the HOA board held an emergency vote to remove her from all committees. Karen, once a name whispered with fear, became the neighborhood's favorite cautionary tale. Mike never gloated. He returned to his roses, replaced the mulch, moved a few sensors back to storage. But neighbors began to nod at him more. Some dropped off thank you notes. One couple left a pot of blooming lavender with a simple tag, for keeping Oakstone calm. At the next HOA election, Mike was nominated for board president. He declined. I didn't do it to run the neighborhood, he said. I just wanted to live in it. But his quiet resistance left something behind. People started showing up to meetings, asking questions, reading bylaws. No one let fear dress up as leadership again. And as for Karen, she faded, still lived on the corner, still glared occasionally over her hedges. But her megaphone stayed silent. Her hose remained coiled. And Mike. He never said a word to her after the fallout. He just tended his tomatoes and let the peace grow back one calm day at a time.